What's good, YouTube? It's the Sports Guru back with another video, and today we are going to try to solve one of the world's toughest tasks. We're going to try to save the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns haven't had a winning season in 5 years. Now, 5 years ago, they had a above 500 record, but they still didn't make the playoffs. So that means they haven't been to the playoffs since Steve Nash was a Sun, his very last good year in the NBA with the Phoenix Suns back in 2010. So it's almost been a decade since they've been in the playoffs. They've been kind of rebuilding this thing for so long, just haven't been able to quite fit it together yet. But one of my favorite things about the Suns is they have one of the most promising young groups of talent. Devin Booker is one of the most exciting young stars the NBA has to offer. There's no doubt about that. Booker has improved almost in every single offensive category. Yes, I know his defense is still really suspect, but Booker had a career high in points per game at 26.6. Booker also jumped in my favorite category from Booker. This is my favorite one from him. His assists went from 4.7 to 6.8, showing he can pass the ball even better. It could still be going up, who knows, because Booker still hasn't reached his ceiling. Had a career high in field goal percentage at 46.7%. Very excellent for a guard who's still young. With consistent improvement, there shouldn't be any doubt that Devin Booker is going to be the Phoenix Suns, I guess you could say their main star, their superstar for years to come. Now, a name that shouldn't be forgotten is DeAndre Ayton. Ayton's rookie year was kind of suppressed by the hype of Luka Doncic and Trae Young, and even other rookies like Marvin Bagley, who really turned it on late in the season. Then you have people with hot starts like Jaren Jackson Jr. as well. Such a loaded draft class, one of the best we've had this century, if not the best. So, Ayton had a good rookie year. He had great improvements. At the beginning of the year, Ayton concerningly kind of looked like a real liability on the defensive end. It seemed that experience probably paid its dividends, with his court awareness really raised towards the end of the season, monthly actually. His pick and roll positioning improved monthly. So it was good to see Ayton really put worth the effort to improve on that end, because he really needed to. But he averaged 16.3 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, and was one of the most efficient big men in the game. Yeah, he hasn't shot really any threes yet, but that will come. Ayton seems like a guy who wants it. He wants to develop that. So I believe he's still a cornerstone player in my opinion. I love DeAndre Ayton. I think he just kind of got suppressed by all the other players in the draft because he wasn't so flashy, I guess you could say. And one of my other favorite players from the 2018 draft is Mikal Bridges. He was one of my favorite players for sure in that draft. At 6'7", 7'1" wingspan, Bridges will eventually fill into an elite on-ball defender with potential of being one of the best 3-and-D players in the league with his pure stroke. Besides Devin Booker, TJ Warren was probably the Suns' best player last year in terms of, scoring. He's 25. Warren took a massive leap with his outside shot, shooting 43% from deep, while maintaining his overall field goal percentage at 49%. Though Warren provides good scoring, his defense is a real liability. With multiple wings such as Kelly Oubre, Mikal Bridges, Josh Jackson, the Suns found their identity, because all three of those guys I just mentioned can play some pretty damn good defense. As much as he can score, it wouldn't surprise me if TJ Warren is traded this summer, and that might be a part of the video here soon, so keep watching. A problem with the Suns is that they're too young. This is something the Suns even know. If you remember last summer, the Suns signed Trevor Ariza to a one-year $15 million deal. Now, one guy's not going to change that, but there's a reason they gave Trevor Ariza $15 million on a one-year deal. They know they needed some veteran leadership with that group. Players don't always develop well if they don't have a good balance of older and younger players. So, the Suns are going to walk into free agency with $7 million to spend, but could easily create $30+ million. The question is, who do the Suns pursue? Knowing they need leadership and defense, I would love to see Patrick Beverley in the backcourt with Devin Booker. Now, Patrick Beverley, I'd love to see him on a lot of teams. Yes, you would like to see more playmaking in the starting lineup with Booker's improvement passing the ball, but I would like to see Beverly's intensity and grit kind of spread over Phoenix. Give them their identity. They need an identity. They need something to grab onto, because they have so much young talent. They just got to be groomed right. Now, I've mentioned this in past videos, but Beverly would help with his 40% three-point shot. I mean, he's a good shooter. Yes, he doesn't play make like a lot of Suns fans would probably want, but here's the next player for that they could possibly target. Terry Rozier. Now, this would be a good time for the Suns to jump on Terry Rozier, because I don't think his stock's very high, because he just hasn't grown into the efficient point guard yet, but he's kind of had inconsistent minutes. I think it's kind of unfair to judge him, because when he gets big minutes, Terry Rozier seems to produce more. We know last year in the playoffs, he had some really great games, and he had some really bad games. So Terry Rozier is definitely a guy that you could probably get for around 12, 13 million a year. I know he turned down an offer with Boston for 12 million a year, but his stock, his free agency stock couldn't have rose that much. Unless a team really believes in Terry Rozier to the point where they think he can be an all-star, I don't see him getting around $20 million at all. But if the Suns trade TJ Warren, Nikola Mirotić would be a great option. I like his great size and scoring. Mirotić, in my opinion, is slightly underrated as on the defensive end. Knowing that the draft comes up, the Suns have the third best odds for Zion or Ja Morant. We know how much the Suns love Ja Morant. There's been reports saying that they actually would prefer Ja Morant over Zion. How true is that? We don't know. But if the Suns don't land in the top 2, they need to trade their pick. Because there's so many wings in this draft that, you know, the guard position kind of falls off after Ja Morant for a while in terms of elite prospects. So Ja Morant, I mean, if you can't get him or Zion, I'm thinking Phoenix. This is my trade right here. This is a good trade. I think this is a good trade for both teams. I like this a lot. The Phoenix Suns offer the Pelicans TJ Warren, Tyler Johnson, and the 3rd overall pick for Jrue Holiday and Jahlil Okafor. This would be a perfect fit for the Suns. After this trade, free agency, the Phoenix Suns lineup, this is my prediction starting lineup for the Phoenix Suns if they made this deal. Jrue Holiday, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Nikola Mirotić, and DeAndre Ayton. And they might, with them being able to trade Tyler Johnson in this deal, they might have a little extra money to spend to help that bench out because it will need it. So maybe you pursue somebody for the bench, like a Maxi Kleber off the bench at center. Now, this is how I would rebuild the Suns. I think they should get somebody like Jrue Holiday, who could potentially be on the market. That rumor's been out there for like a year. $25 million, not a horrible contract, and he's every bit worth it. He can do everything. He can pass. He can score. He plays great defense. He's everything you would want next to Devin Booker. Mikal Bridges, I fully expect him to take that next step. I really do. I think Mikal Bridges is just insane when it comes down to his defense, his potential on defense, his physical gifts as well. Being 6'7" and having a 7-foot wingspan is awesome. Nikola Mirotić, I've always been a big fan of him. He's really grown over the past few years. When people thought that deal with the Bulls really didn't work out, he ended up, really turning out for the Bulls, but he had that incident and wanted to get traded. And it's DeAndre Ayton. I know the DeAndre Ayton and Nikola Vucevic would definitely be an interesting power forward and center combo, but you have options. You can sign people off the bench, and you have draft picks to potentially, fill in for Nikola Mirotić or somebody like that, I guess you could say. I'm trying to do this off the fly right here because I don't know who they will pursue for the bench, but I just love this. I think it gives them something. It gives them something real, something that they can shoot for. Yes, will they probably not get to the playoffs for the first year with this team, but this is going to put talent around them. Jrue Holiday is a perfect guy to have in your locker room. I would absolutely love that. I think it's a great fit. Tell me what y'all think, because the Suns, they're in bad shape when it comes down to what's going on with Robert Sever, and they might sign Monte Williams as the head coach. I mean, it seems like that's they're the front runners for Monte Williams. And yeah, guys, tell me what y'all think. I love this lineup of Jrue Holiday, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Nikola Mirotić, and DeAndre Ayton. Give me some trade targets for them if they don't get in the top 2, because I don't think they should draft RJ Barrett or Jarrett Culver. It just doesn't make sense with all the wings they have, all these young wings they have. So yeah, tell me what y'all think. I think Jrue Holiday is probably their best bet. If you can get him for the 3rd pick, that's great. All right, guys, leave a like and subscribe. Tell me what y'all think.